This recap is just one segment from the Show versus Business podcast. Find the rest online now. Enjoy.
Yeah, let's get to episode 3. So, episode 3, I can recap it real quick. Loki meets with a lady that looks like him and could be a version of Loki, a variant of Loki, and she's on a mission as he followed her through the portal to go back to TVA and kill him. In the process, they fight, ensue. He has but in the process, they end up going to a doom planet, one of the apocalypses that they can't get or escape from, and they can't leave because the machine that gets them back to the TVA or to any other time period is broken. So they get to know each other a little bit more, ride the train, get to know more folks about the people that live in that place, that doom planet. And at the end of the day, unfortunately, they do not escape. So they're left with thinking about how they're going to leave this environment. So that's high level. There was a lot of questions out of this one. I think a lot of things happening here was just more, not more of a buddy cop, but more of a character study of like who Loki is at his core when you compare that to a version of Loki, right, that we haven't seen before. And I think that was useful, right, to kind of really dive into that character. It was really focused on those two characters in the world around them, but they didn't really leave that to go back to Mobius and TVA really beyond just the period of time when she went back to beat up and kill some folks. So very interesting kind of story. I think they were doing a lot of heavy lifting. You and I kind of talked about offline. Looks like it was that whole screenwriting trick where you have what they call the Pope swimming in the pool. Basically, you do a lot of what's it called?
Exposition.
Exposition. Thank you. To explain things, but then you got all this crazy things going around you, so that you're like, hey, that's cool about the backstory, but look at that. So they put a lot of special effects in this show, in this episode, and so that hopefully distracted us from a lot of the heavy lifting they have to do to kind of tell backstories. So I thought it was serviceable. It was basically, it's got to get us to the second half because there's only 6 episodes. So overall, I think, I'm just ready for the next episode to see where they end up and where they're kind of going to end the show out. So what were your quick thoughts?
Yeah, man. Whole lot of talky. Not enough fighty, as Lego Palpatine would say. Less talky. Yeah. The whole thing was an escape kind of situation where you've got characters in, you've seen this on TV or somewhere. Characters in prison, characters on the desert, characters on a boat, and they've got to escape from this situation. So the entire time they're trying to escape, they're running up against each other. We'll do things my way. No, we'll do things my way. And then they figure out that they have to come together to act as a team. So yeah, you were right in your previous explanation that this buddy cop with Mobius thing is over. Now it's all about Loki and him discovering himself, herself, themselves with this episode, and their relationship began there, which is Loki's relationship with himself, herself, their self. Yeah.
No, you make a great point. I mean, this is the TV trope of a prison break, right? And so they're trying to escape this planet, Doom Planet, Lamentis One, and it looks like they're using a lot of the same tropes, right? Oh, we got to disguise ourselves, right? Or we got to figure out how to get around this obstacle, or let's rest before we have the big breakout, right? The night before, right? And so there's a lot of those same kind of tropes that you see in like prison break TV shows, right, and movies. So you're right, they're kind of like just slowly but surely kind of like trotting out all the classics here. So we'll see what the next episode holds. It'll probably be like a mystery. Look, man, we can write this show. This would be a mystery episode. Episode 4 would be like, who are the timekeepers, right? And it's going to be a big mystery. Mobius is going to start getting suspicious, and we're going to see him investigate, what's really going on behind the scenes. Yeah. So that's kind of my prediction. I haven't seen the preview. Have you seen the preview for episode 4 yet, or?
No, I thought about watching those, but I figured it was best not to. I'll just wait until the week, the Wednesday hits, and I'll watch it then.
Yeah.
For a show like this, I don't want to see the previews.
Yeah, yeah. So that's my prediction. Obviously, they ended episode 3. Spoiler alert. Again, we always, we got to put that warning out there. But looks like they aren't able. Loki and Lady Loki, that's what we're calling her now, is they can't escape the planet. They thought they could through this ship that was going to take off, but the ship explodes right in front of them, and the episode ends. And
Yeah.
so obviously he's not going to stay on that planet. So the next thing is like, okay, how's he going to get off? So it's a cliffhanger. So it's kind of like what?
I hope they don't jump. I hope they don't, have the Black Lady or Mobius come in and quote unquote save them. But I'm thinking about ways out for them, and I'm like, that might just be the way it happens. Um, you know,
Yeah, I'm trying to think. This is gonna be interesting. Unless there's another Loki variant comes up out of nowhere and it gets
um,
them out.
so okay, if it's not the TVA, under the TVA's authority, that could be one rescue operation. Then you have another rescue operation, which is Mobius acting on his own,
Hmm.
because he's still kind of buddied up. Or um, you have the girl who is kidnapped. Um, she may play a part in getting them back for some reason. We don't know much about her, so she's an easy out. And
Talking about
last,
the hunter that
got taken
Lady
hostage.
Loki enchanted. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and another far out person would be um, Ravonna Renslayer herself. Like if she shows up, like, hey, listen, I've got some stuff going on. You're messing my stuff up.
Yeah.
Maybe there's some weird backdoor reason that she has to show them behind the curtains for whatever reason. I don't know.
Yeah, that's a good point. It might be time for her to have a kind of standalone episode to kind of figure out
Yeah.
what's her gig. So that's a good point. I think that might be where they might be going. She might be the savior for them. So that way we can kind of get a sense of who she is and what she's about. Is she really, the puppet master or just being manipulated by these guys? So what are some of the big questions that we got out of this? Right, I think one of the things that people have been kind of discussing is this Lady Loki a version of Loki, or is it another character from the comic books called the Enchantress? It's Enchantress, excuse me. And so, any thoughts on that, Mr. Benja?
Um, yeah, Marvel could go um, either way with this. Enchantress was a character that Loki actually creates in some form in one of the timelines where he's like, hey, this person I need help with this operation. Let me go ahead and use my powers to create this other character that's going to grow into Enchantress.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how I don't know how Marvel is going to play it here in the show. Maybe he transferred his likeness into her because she clearly does not look like Loki at all, and I think that was part of it. She's not tall. She doesn't have
Mm-hmm.
blonde hair. I mean, she has blonde hair. Uh, she's a female, so we're not sure of how they would do that if it is Enchantress. And we're not sure how they would do it if it is, in fact, a Loki variant. Why is this Loki variant so different? I assume they would throw us a little bit of a bone as to why this Loki variant is so different when they showed us pictures of all these Lokis that were pretty similar. So,
Mm-hmm.
still
Mm-hmm.
an interesting call.
Yeah. So that's pseudo mystery. Do we like Lady Loki?
Uh, some people do. I didn't think she was incredibly compelling. I
Yeah.
thought she served her purpose,
Right.
but you know, um, as far as her motives go, we really don't know. It's like I want to destroy the TVA, and we're not exactly sure why. We thought she wanted to destroy the timeline, but it seems like she's into destroying the TVA itself for whatever reason. So we'll have to
Yeah.
get a little bit more of her backstory to figure that out.
Yeah, I agree. She was a little one note. I mean, she's a little scrappy. She taught herself magic and all this other stuff. But I don't get a sense of anything beyond just she's on this revenge tour, right? But there's no nuance beyond that. So just kind of curious to kind of see, she says she's hedonistic too, because Loki was out there singing on the train, having a good time. She says, I'm hedonistic too, but I didn't see that. You don't have to, show, don't tell, right? And so I want to, where's the hedonistic, where's that at, right? The scene at the beginning, they showed her being a little bit, a little friendly with the hunter, right? But unfortunately, that was an enchantment. So we don't know if that's really her, what she really like. So like I said, I want to see more, who she is and some more nuance there in that portrayal. But so we'll see. I don't know. Do you have in? Go ahead.
I was about to say, are you curious about any of the, we learned, well, according to Sylvie / Lady Loki, we learned that none of the TVA members are actually created in the TVA as Mobius
That's
seems to think.
Right. That was the big thing. Yeah, that was the big news. I mean, sure. So it's like,
yeah. So I mean, these may all be people that she's known or is connected to somehow. If they were all ripped out of the a 90s timeline, that's why they have food and magazines and things that are familiar to them. Maybe that's what happened. So
okay. Is this Mr. Benja's theory? Or is this some theories you saw on the internet?
Oh man, I can't tell where my theories end and where internet theories end. Cause I'm thinking things and then I go read things and they're different and I kind of get my own thing together.
I love it, man. Okay, yeah, that's a good point. I never thought about that like that.
Yeah, I still will say that I think they're in the quantum realm. That was not my theory, but when it came up, I was like, you know what? They're probably in the quantum realm. That's why the Infinity Stones don't work. That's why, they anytime they're asked about time, they just say, time acts differently here, which is the same thing they kept saying in Ant-Man about Endgame about the quantum realm. And of course, it leads into Quantumania if in fact that is where they are. The TVA, that is.
Very interesting. Very interesting. We talked about Rick and Morty last week, and looks like the guy who wrote Rick and Morty season 5 premiere is also writing Quantumanium as well. Whereas so it's interesting, man. It's all connected in Marvel world.
We're gonna hashtag that. We are gonna bring the hashtag back.
And we might have to bring. Was it all connected in Marvel world, or is it all connected?
It's all connected.
It's all connected. I love it. We should, man. Marvel, man. Marvel. It's Marvel's world. We just live in it, dude. So that's what we have to realize. So more to come on that, Mr. Benja. So with that being said, was there anything else we wanted to cover with Loki? I think we want to wrap it up here.
Yeah, we can go ahead and wrap it up. The only thing I'm curious about is them just throwing extra powers at Loki out of nowhere. I do wonder about like the telekinesis, the fireworks magic that he was doing to kind of blast people. It's not coming out of nowhere, but they really quickly shuffled it out there like, no, he can do this. And it was kind of like, okay, all right, I'll take that. So we'll see what they do with his power set.
Yeah, we know he can change, form to, different folks. He can telekinesis. Yeah, that's new. You're right. Picking up stuff. Yeah, was kind of new. Maybe he did it in some of the Avengers movies. I got to look again. Fireworks blast, sure. So what is he like, Dazzler now?
What's the name? Jubilee.
Jubilee.
Yeah.
Well, there were two. Dazzler.
Yeah,
And she was all white. She was a rock star. And Jubilee, she had the yellow trench coat and the little glasses that sat on her head. So, oh man, Marvel, man, I love it.
Thank you so much for listening to this segment of the Show vs. Business podcast. We want to bring you a relevant and fresh perspective every week. So please subscribe, check out our other videos, and definitely share your thoughts below. Peace.